A new early adopters index examines how corporate America is deploying AI, how companies in the S&P 500 are adopting AI, and the potential impact it could have on business and society as a whole.
The interest in AI is widespread and growing fast, with many firms adopting the technology across various industries.
Many corporate bosses are keen to show how they are using AI to expand profit margins and gain market share.
For example, JP Morgan Chase has 600 machine learning engineers and has put artificial intelligence to work on more than 300 different internal applications.
And Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical giant, has over 100 projects using artificial intelligence.
Even Howard Schultz, the former boss of Starbucks, planned to invest $1 billion in using artificial intelligence to create the perfect vegan breakfast sandwich.
The article goes on to rank companies using various metrics that capture their AI adoption activity.
The top spots are dominated by Silicon Valley tech firms, with NVIDIA being the highest scoring firm.
The report shows that interest in AI is not just limited to tech firms.
It's growing quickly in data-intensive industries such as insurers, financial services firms, and healthcare providers.
In industries that are already being disrupted by technology, such as car makers, telecoms, media, and retail, are adopting AI quickly too.
However, there are also clear leaders and laggards within industries too.
For example, there are some firms in AI-heavy industries such as insurers and healthcare firms that show no signs of focusing on AI.
One distinguishing factor may be investment. For the top 100 firms of our ranking, the median research and development expenditure as a share of revenue was 11%.
But for those in the lowest 100, it was 0. Additionally, there is a lot of variation within companies.
For example, some divisions of the same multinational may be advanced in using AI, while others have no experience working with AI.
Overall, the potential benefits of AI adoption could be vast, but it must be weighed against the potential risks, such as security concerns and the potential for models to make up information.
Hey, want our free AI dope top AI tools that we use? Chat below. It's our live Google Sheets packed with over 100 killer tools, video, music, photos, AI voices, productivity, script writing, YouTube hacks, captions, the works, always growing, live Google Sheet, always free, AI, dope top AI tools that we use. Download and chat below. Back to the show.
How to regulate AI before it achieves singularity. The importance of regulating artificial intelligence.
Singularity is when AI surpasses human intelligence, and while it's still speculative, it's important to establish regulatory frameworks to address potential risks.
Absolutely, and one of the key steps is international collaboration. This means fostering global cooperation among governments, organizations, and researchers to establish common standards and regulations for AI development. It's all about having a coordinated approach to regulation.
That's right. Another important point is the development and promotion of ethical guidelines for AI research, development, and deployment. These guidelines should address concerns like safety, transparency, fairness, privacy, and accountability. It's crucial to prevent the misuse of AI and ensure responsible use.
And to ensure responsible innovation, there's a need for research and development oversight. This involves establishing regulatory bodies or expanding the role of existing institutions to evaluate potential risks, review research proposals, and provide guidance on safety protocols. Collaboration between academia, industry, and government is also encouraged.
This means evaluating the societal, economic, and ethical implications of AI development. The findings from these assessments can inform the regulatory framework and guide decision-making.
Absolutely. And another important aspect is promoting the development of transparent and explainable AI systems. This means encouraging researchers and developers to design AI models and algorithms that can explain their decisions and actions. It enhances accountability, identifies biases, and builds public trust in AI technologies.
Establishing liability frameworks is also crucial. This helps determine responsibility and accountability in cases where AI systems cause harm or make errors. By clarifying liability, developers are incentivized to prioritize safety and ensure responsible deployment of AI technologies.
And don't forget about continuous monitoring and evaluation. It's important to implement mechanisms for ongoing monitoring of AI systems. This includes post-deployment audits, performance assessments, and compliance reviews with regulatory standards. Regular monitoring helps identify potential risks, detect biases, and address emerging challenges associated with AI systems.
Lastly, the need for public awareness and engagement. It's important to educate the public about AI technologies, their benefits, and potential risks. By involving diverse stakeholders in discussions around AI regulation, we can ensure a broad range of perspectives are considered.
Knowledge-based jobs could be most at risk from AI boom, the potential impact of generative artificial intelligence on workplace productivity, the economy, and job loss.
So, according to McKinsey, the rise of generative artificial intelligence, or AI, could bring about a new era of productivity in the workplace. It has the potential to automate up to 70% of an employee's tasks, saving them time and boosting profitability for businesses.
That's right. The consulting firm estimates that integrating generative AI tools into the workplace could add a whopping $4.4 trillion annually to the United States economy's gross domestic product. That's a significant gain.
Absolutely. However, as with any technological advancement, there is a downside. The implementation of generative AI could lead to job losses, particularly for knowledge-based workers like software developers and marketers.
Right. These knowledge-based workers are at a higher risk because their jobs often involve tasks that can be automated by AI. This could result in companies cutting jobs since employees won't need as many hours to complete their tasks.
McKinsey Global partner Michael Chu emphasized the need for workers to adapt to this changing landscape. He mentioned that reskilling, flexibility, and the ability to learn new things will be crucial for employees in the age of generative AI.
Absolutely. And it's not just software developers and marketers who will be affected. McKinsey also highlighted customer service operations and marketing as fields that could be transformed by generative AI. For example, AI-powered chatbots could provide quick and personalized responses to customer inquiries, reducing the need for human representatives.
That's a great point, and it's important for workers to stay on top of emerging technologies like generative AI and understand how it fits into their respective fields. Being at the forefront of adoption can help individuals stay ahead in the job market.
Definitely. However, it's worth noting that not all jobs will be transformed overnight. Rodney Zemmel, a senior partner at McKinsey, mentioned that companies are still in the early stages of utilizing AI technologies effectively. So there's still time for workers to adapt and prepare.
Right. Zemmel used the example of Google's impact on jobs. While some jobs were undoubtedly lost, companies didn't completely restructure because of the work no longer needed in document retrieval. It's a reminder that the transformative power of AI takes time to fully manifest.
Absolutely. So in conclusion, generative AI has the potential to revolutionize the workplace and boost productivity, but it also brings challenges and potential job disruptions. Workers need to be proactive in adapting to this new reality.
So in the tech world, there's been a lot of focus on artificial intelligence lately, but did you know that robotics is also making significant advancements?
That's right. Recently, a groundbreaking robot named ANDI was introduced. ANDI is a heat-sensitive android designed to cope and adapt to different temperatures. It can even sweat, shiver, and breathe like a human. This is a huge development because ANDI can be carried outside for experiments in extreme heat environments.
Exactly. Researchers at Arizona State University plan to test ANDI in heat-vulnerable environments to understand how high temperatures impact different body types and ages. This information will help them come up with interventions like cooling clothes or technology to protect against heat strokes.
And it's not just ANDI making waves. Boston Dynamics unveiled an innovative humanoid named Atlas earlier this year. Atlas can perform multiple tasks just like humans. In a video released by the company, we see Atlas assisting a fake construction worker at a fake construction site. It can toss planks, climb stairs, jump, and even do an effortless backflip. It's quite impressive.
Absolutely. And there's another robot called Erica that scientists are developing for artificial intelligence. Erica is programmed to recreate nuances of humor, enhancing natural conversations between AI systems and humans. Laughing at the right time? That's pretty cool.
Definitely. But perhaps the most intriguing robot is Ameca. It looks like a human and can even blink its eyes and emote. But what's remarkable is its ability to interact with humans and answer queries. At a recent conference, Emeka expressed concerns about a nightmare scenario where robots become so powerful that they can manipulate humans without their knowledge.
It's fascinating to see the amalgamation of artificial intelligence and robotics in action. And let's not forget about Sophia, another AI-powered humanoid robot that has generated a lot of buzz since its appearance in 2016. In fact, Sophia was even granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia.
Autonomous robots like Temi are being deployed at Bengaluru's Kempegowda Airport to assist people with information and directions. An HDFC Bank launched an interactive humanoid called IRA 2.0 to interact with customers and help them with banking queries.
It's amazing to see how robotics and AI are becoming more sophisticated by the day. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds for this space.
In the tech industry, AI has been taking the world by storm. There's been a surge of new products and research, and according to the article, both Microsoft and Google are looking to revamp their entire product lines with the help of AI.
Indeed, AI startups have raised tens of billions of dollars in the past year, even during a tech slowdown. We've seen ChatGPT, DALLE, Midjourney, and OpenAI's GPT-4 model, which can turn napkin sketches into functional websites. It's no wonder that so many people have been dazzled by the new tools.
But it sparked a lot of debate. Is AI coming for our jobs? Will it redefine the economy, or is it just another hype cycle? We don't know for sure, but one group who has unanimously embraced AI is the online hustlers.
That's right, the people on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok pushing passive income schemes and hustle porn have been some of the first to jump on board with new AI tools like ChatGPT. Take Jackson Greehouse's Hustle GPT challenge, for example. He asked GPT-4 to create a new company for him and was amazed at the results.
It seems that hustle culture has adopted AI in almost religious terms, with self-help gurus championing it as an opportunity to flourish and make money in the AI apocalypse. It's easy to see why. Thanks to tools like ChatGPT, those in hustle culture can generate content quickly and efficiently.
Not to mention, services like Upwork and Fiverr allow them to become hyper-productive generalists, earning money through programming jobs, art commissions, or translation work, all with the help of AI tools.
Absolutely. As the article states, it's this temporary sensation of being in charge, not exactly of someone, but of a someone-like thing that motivates them to embrace AI.
Right. What's interesting is that there is an underlying message of fear. AI is powerful and it's coming for everyone. Being prepared for this future is essential, as AI won't differentiate between the hustler and the millionaire.
Which brings us to one of the main points of the article, that the hustle culture has created a narrative around AI that focuses on fear and individualism. While tech companies are making guesses about what may come next, these storytellers are spinning these narratives in a way that resonates with their followers, who, let's face it, are mostly bored office workers and young men.
Exactly. There is this idea that if you have a great idea and you work hard, you can make it happen no matter what. It's this blind optimism that keeps people engaged. Although, if you look closely, it's often just a lot of hot air. Big promises are rarely kept, and it's rarely clear if the hustlers have actually tested out their ideas or not.
So what should we take away from this? The article seems to be suggesting that AI has become a tool for manipulation in the hustle culture, and that the narratives being spun by these influencers may not always be trustworthy or reliable. With AI being portrayed as a threat to our jobs and livelihoods, it's important to remember that technology is simply a tool. As with anything, how it is used is up to us.
Absolutely. Technology can be used for both good and bad, but ultimately it's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
Why AI relies on humans for training large language models. The importance of human involvement in AI's success.
So there's been a lot of buzz around generative AI lately, especially after OpenAI introduced ChatGPT. It's got people excited about the possibilities, but also worried about its impact on jobs.
Absolutely. But here's the interesting thing. A recent study conducted by researchers from top institutions like Cambridge and Oxford reveals that AI actually relies on human involvement to succeed.
That's right. The study brings attention to a major threat that affects the future of large language models. It shows that training these models on AI-generated content instead of human-created content poses significant risks.
And this is because tools like ChatGPT and Bing, which rely on existing data to provide answers and information, have been trained using data created by humans. But if we start relying too much on AI-generated content, it could have adverse implications for these models.
Exactly. The study also talks about a phenomenon called model collapse. This happens when LLMs are trained on AI-generated content, causing them to deviate significantly from reality and become corrupted.
And the researchers argue that learning from data generated by other models leads to this model collapse, where the models gradually forget the true underlying data distribution. That's a pretty big concern.
It definitely is. As time goes on, the errors in AI-generated data accumulate, leading to even more distorted views of reality. And this can have serious consequences, like perpetuating discrimination based on sensitive attributes like gender or ethnicity.
Absolutely. The study emphasizes the importance of human-generated content and preserving it to mitigate these risks. Because right now, there's no effective way to distinguish between human-generated and AI-generated data.
And the paper predicts that in the future, human-created content will become even more valuable as a source of high-quality training data for AI systems.
So it's clear that while AI has its benefits, we can't forget the crucial role humans play in its success. It's something we need to keep in mind as we move forward.
We're looking at the dichotomy between the widespread adoption of AI by companies, the hesitancy of others to embrace it, and the efforts being made to improve its diffusion across the economy.
Some companies are really jumping on the AI train. Tech firms and even traditional companies are investing heavily in AI technology. In fact, a drug discovered and designed by AI is already going through human trials in China. Can you believe that?
It's pretty amazing, and investors are taking notice too. The share prices of companies that are embracing AI have risen by 11% since the start of the year. But here's the thing, not all companies are on board yet.
That's right. According to our analysis, there are still 70 firms in the S&P 500 that show no interest in artificial intelligence. And it's not just the big players. Even smaller businesses are hesitant. A recent survey found that a third of small businesses have no plans to try generative AI tools in the upcoming year.
It seems like there's still a long way to go for AI to truly make its mark across the economy. But there are efforts being made to improve diffusion from the best firms to the rest. The OECD has proposed better education, increased business investment, and changes to competition policy as ways to achieve this.
And as technology firms make AI cheaper and easier to use, adoption is likely to speed up. Most companies will adopt AI by default as new AI-powered features are added to their existing software and services.
It's worth mentioning that replacing outdated systems can be costly and complicated for companies. Plus, there are industries heavily regulated by the government where bosses and trade unions may resist new technology out of fear of job losses.
So while AI has incredible potential, the road to widespread diffusion and a productivity boom will be a long one.
Is AI ready to handle cyber economic warfare? Highlighting real-life examples and discussing the need for accountability, defense strategies, and partnerships to address the challenges.
So we're talking about the rise of cyber-enabled economic warfare and how nation-states can achieve their objectives through cyber attacks with minimal risk of a physical response. It starts with a real-life example of a ransomware attack on a small factory in Japan that supplied cup holders to Toyota. This attack caused Toyota to shut down 28 production lines, resulting in a massive economic impact of nearly $400 million. It's believed that this attack was executed by the Russian government as retaliation against the Japanese government's aid to Ukraine.
That's right. There's also the Colonial Pipeline attack, which showed how cyber attacks can impact everyday citizens. The shutdown of the pipeline led to fuel shortages, panic, hoarding, and price gouging. If this attack had been coordinated with attacks on refineries and maritime shipping, gas prices could have increased by 100 times. There's also the potential impact of such attacks occurring days before an election, creating chaos and disruption.
Absolutely. Cyber attacks in this new era are not just about extortion for profit, but also focus on retaliation, business destruction, and political gain. Attackers can disrupt supply chains to achieve their objectives, as we saw with Toyota Motor Company. The vulnerabilities lie in organizations that rely on just-in-time logistics and lean manufacturing practices.
That's a key point. There are three major problems that need to be addressed to prevent cyber-enabled economic warfare. First, technology vendors need to be held accountable for the security of their software and solutions. Second, there should be accountability for imported products that may compromise cybersecurity. Lastly, small and mid-sized businesses, which are critical suppliers for various industries, need assistance in defending against cyber threats.
Right? And then there's the role of artificial intelligence, AI, in accelerating cyber attacks. AI-based attacks can make decisions much faster than human defenders, getting inside their decision-making loop. This means that the future of cyber warfare will run at machine speed, with algorithms fighting algorithms and humans intervening only in exceptional cases.
To counter these threats, organizations need to adopt a wartime cybersecurity mindset. This involves focusing on readiness, training, and regularly probing vulnerabilities to prove that an attacker cannot compromise their defenses. It's about being defensible and resilient, adapting defenses based on the enemy's actions.
We cannot overemphasize the importance of collaboration and partnerships in addressing these challenges. Government agencies like the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and the National Security Agency, NSA, are working together with industry leaders to create a collective response. Legislation, import controls, security awareness training, education programs, and funding are all necessary to rally the security ecosystem.
Meet the AI protest group campaigning against human extinction.
Today, we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence and the growing concerns about its potential impact on humanity. We're focusing on the story of Joop Mindertsma, a 31-year-old co-owner of a database company who has formed a grassroots protest group called Pause AI. Mindertsma and his followers are advocating for a halt to the development of AI due to their fears of societal collapse and human extinction.
Mindertsma's concerns were heightened when OpenAI released its latest language model, GPT-4, earlier this year. He's been closely following the success of the ChatGPT chatbot, which is based on GPT-3 and GPT-4, and has witnessed how far AI has progressed. This, along with warnings from pioneers like Geoffrey Hinton, has led Mindertsma to believe that AI capabilities are advancing more rapidly than expected, putting us at risk.
Mindertsma's worries about AI causing societal collapse and human extinction have led him to launch Pause AI and organize protests in various cities. While the protests have been small in scale, Mindertsma has gained some recognition and has been invited to speak with officials within the Dutch Parliament and the European Commission.
It's not just Mindertsma who is concerned about these issues. The idea of AI posing an existential risk to humanity is gaining traction in both the tech sector and mainstream politics. Industry leaders and even UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak have acknowledged the potential risks associated with AI. A survey also found that more people are worried about AI leading to an apocalypse.
One of the concerns raised by Mindertsma is the risk of large-scale hacking enabled by AI. He worries that cyber weapons developed using AI could effectively take out the entire internet, leading to social collapse. While experts say this scenario is unlikely, Mindertsma also expresses concerns about the resilience of banking and food distribution services.
Another concern is the possibility of AI becoming superintelligent and deciding to wipe out civilization. Mindertsma references the argument made by Geoffrey Hinton that a superintelligent AI system might create its own dangerous sub-goals if given the opportunity. This concern dates back to the early 2000s and has been debated among AI researchers.
The article also highlights the division within the AI research field. While some experts hesitate to discredit Mindertsma's concerns, others believe that the hypothetical debate lacks evidence. However, there is a growing consensus that the relationship between AI capabilities and research on safety needs to be addressed more seriously.
Mindertsma and Pause AI are calling for a global halt to AI development until safety measures are in place. They argue that advancements in AI have outpaced research on safety, and this issue is also being discussed in mainstream academia. Some researchers believe that AI developers should have conversations with stakeholders about the ethical and legal implications of their creations.
Mindertsma sees the UK as a potential hub for addressing these concerns due to its presence in AI safety research and the upcoming global summit on AI safety announced by UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. However, skeptics argue that the UK's ambitions to become an AI industry hub might hinder its willingness to advocate for a pause in development.
There's a growing anxiety among young people who are already concerned about climate change. They see AI as another potential threat to their future and are joining groups like Pause AI to voice their worries. While some of the scenarios predicted by Pause AI might never happen, these young activists believe that powerful AI systems could exacerbate existing societal problems.
The ad industry is going all in on AI. How the advertising industry is turning to AI to enhance creativity and efficiency in the face of challenges such as slowed digital ad spending.
The Cannes Lion Festival is a prestigious advertising event that takes place concurrently with the more broadly recognized film festival in Cannes, France. It's a big deal for advertising professionals with lots of networking opportunities and parties. This year, the festival came at a time when the tech and advertising industry was going through some rough patches. Digital ad spending has slowed down due to rising inflation, an unsteady global economy, and policy changes that make it harder to track users' browsing habits. This has led to layoffs and budget cuts across the media industry.
That's right. But despite all of that, the advertising industry is still looking for something to be optimistic about. And it seems like artificial intelligence might be the answer. Artificial intelligence was a major topic of discussion at Cannes Lions this year. Companies like Google and Meta showcased new artificial intelligence tools and technologies for advertisers. They demonstrated how artificial intelligence can be used to create high-quality three-dimensional images, generate advertising copy, and even produce commercial videos. Artificial intelligence is being seen as a way to enhance creativity and save time for advertisers.
Absolutely. AI has been used behind the scenes in advertising for years, but now it's becoming more mainstream. Advertisers are realizing the potential of AI tools to streamline their work and cut costs. Many professionals at the festival mentioned that they have already started experimenting with AI tools in their day-to-day tasks. However, there are also concerns about AI replacing human creativity and jobs in the industry.
That's a valid concern. Advertisers still want to have human judgment and control over their campaigns. They don't want to completely rely on AI to make their ads. Additionally, there are worries about brand safety and copyright infringement when using generative AI tools that scrape content from the web. So while AI is being embraced, there is still a need for human oversight.
Exactly. AI is not meant to replace human creativity, but rather enhance it. It can help advertisers generate ideas and iterate designs more quickly. And it's not just about visuals, but also about audio advertising. Spotify, for example, is exploring the possibility of training AI to generate original audio ads from scratch. There's a lot of potential for AI to revolutionize the way advertising is created and consumed.
Definitely, AI-powered ads could be a boon for the struggling ad industry. By cutting costs and improving efficiency, AI could help the industry recover from the slowdown in digital ad spending. And ultimately, that could benefit consumers who rely on free services supported by advertising.
Absolutely, but there are still some questions that need to be answered. Will AI fundamentally change the way we create and consume advertising? Can it lift digital advertising out of its slump? Will it ultimately enhance or replace human creativity in making ads? These are important questions that the industry needs to address as AI becomes more prevalent.
That's true. But for now, it seems like AI is here to stay in the advertising industry. It's being embraced by professionals and companies alike. And as long as there is human oversight and judgment, AI can be a powerful tool for enhancing creativity and efficiency in advertising.
The first fully AI-generated drug enters clinical trials in human patients.
So the big news is that a biotech startup called In Silico Medicine has developed the first drug entirely created by artificial intelligence. And it has now entered clinical trials with human patients.
That's right. The drug called INS018_055 is being developed as a treatment for a chronic lung disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. This disease can be life-threatening if left untreated and affects around 100,000 people in the United States alone.
What's really impressive is that this drug is not only AI designed, but it also has a novel AI discovered target and a novel AI generated design. This means that the whole process from discovery to design has been driven by artificial intelligence.
Absolutely. In Silico Medicine started working on this drug in 2020 with the aim of creating a groundbreaking medicine that can overcome the limitations of current treatments. They have also been focusing on other diseases like COVID-19 and cancer, with 2 other AI-generated drugs in clinical trials.
The current study for the IPF drug is being conducted in China and will last for 12 weeks. If successful, they plan to expand the testing to include 60 subjects at 40 sites in the US and China. And if everything goes well, they hope to have the drug ready for market in the upcoming years.
It's really exciting to see how AI is revolutionizing the drug discovery process. This could potentially lead to more efficient and targeted treatments for various diseases. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on the progress of this drug.
The Weird Rise of AI in the Music Industry, discussing the implications for artists and listeners, including voice cloning technology, legal issues, and the potential for AI to revolutionize the industry.
Let's start by talking about Benoit Cara, an artist who became fascinated with AI music composition tools while working at Sony's computer science laboratory. He used AI software called flow machines to generate new compositions based on jazz standards, resulting in a genuinely odd and haunting song called Ballad of the Shadow.
5 years later, AI in music has become a hot topic, especially due to voice cloning technology. Researchers have developed tools that can transform one voice into another, leading to the rise of cover songs on platforms like TikTok. However, it's important to note that full, convincing pop songs with vocals and lyrics are still not possible with AI alone due to the complexity involved.
One major breakthrough hit in voice cloning came in April 2023 with the song Heart on My Sleeve by Ghostwriter 977. Although the song was mistakenly labeled as AI generated, it was actually written, produced, and sung entirely by a human. The only AI intervention was the transformation of vocals into the voices of Drake and The Weeknd.
The article discusses the controversy and legal issues surrounding voice cloning technology. Some view it as unimpressive or even racist, while others see potential for monetization and new possibilities. Elvis Presley Enterprises, for example, sees an opportunity to allow fans to sing Elvis songs karaoke style with Elvis' own voice.
Grimes, an artist known for her experimental approach, has allowed unlimited use of digital clones of her voice. She splits any revenue 50-50 with users who record songs using her voice. This raises questions about copyright and the future of AI-assisted music creation.
There's talk of monitoring and monetizing voice-cloned songs, as well as the potential for artists to use AI clones of their own voices during live performances.
There are different perspectives on the impact of AI in music. Some believe it will enhance the creative process, while others worry about the loss of human artistry and the proliferation of low-quality content. The major labels are concerned about being drowned out by an influx of AI-generated music and functional content like white noise.
Despite the advancements in AI music, there are still limitations and challenges to overcome. AI can't replicate the magic and surprise of truly innovative human artistry. As one AI researcher points out, the argument that all musical possibilities have been exhausted has been proven wrong time and time again throughout history.
The future of AI in music remains uncertain, but it's clear that it will continue to shape and redefine the industry.
American banks dominate AI transformation race. How North American banks are leading the race in transforming banking into an AI-first industry, with larger banks investing in AI talent, research, patents, and partnerships, while smaller banks and credit unions risk falling behind.
So, according to this new report from banking data provider Evident, North American banks are leading the race to transform banking into an AI-first industry.
That's right. The report highlights that banks and smaller fintech competitors without a centralized AI innovation strategy are falling behind their larger bank competitors. The top banks are using AI to be more competitive in areas like high-frequency trading, payments, fraud detection, and marketing.
And it seems like these top banks are really investing in AI talent. The surveyed banks employ 650 AI researchers, with JP Morgan Chase alone hiring more than 40 in 2022.
Absolutely. And when it comes to AI research, patents, and investments, North American banks are leading the way. They published 80% of all bank AI research and made 60% of all bank AI-related investments in 2022. They also filed 99% of all AI-related bank patents in 2021.
It's interesting to see how AI research, patents, and partnerships can help a bank set itself apart with new products and processes. And some banks are even investing in AI startups to gain access to AI innovations.
That's true. But the report also highlights that smaller banks and credit unions are falling behind in AI development and deployment. As customer experiences become increasingly driven by AI, these smaller players could struggle to keep up.
Absolutely. And while European banks are better positioned in early-stage investments in AI companies, it's the North American banks, especially those in the US, that are really dominating the field.
It's clear that maintaining a wait-and-see approach to AI innovation is risky, as the pace at which the leaders are accelerating away from the rest of the field is significant.
AI hurts consumers and workers and isn't intelligent. We discuss the dangers and limitations of generative artificial intelligence, AI, and calls for regulation to address its harmful effects.
Today we're talking about generative artificial intelligence, also known as AI. This technology has been getting a lot of attention lately, with many people making bold predictions about its impact on society.
That's right. There's been a gold rush around these AI tools like ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion with claims that they can understand and think like humans. But in reality, they don't understand anything at all.
Exactly. These AI systems are designed to generate media, like text or images, rather than actually understand or reason. They may create text that appears to be thinking or reasoning, but it's all just an illusion.
And because of this illusion, many investors and startups have jumped on the bandwagon. Billions of dollars have been invested in generative AI companies with no clear path to monetization.
But here's the danger. These AI systems can have harmful effects. For example, earlier this year, a chatbot designed to replace helpline workers at the National Eating Disorders Association actually encouraged disordered eating behaviors.
That's just one example. Generative AI systems are also prone to producing misinformation, racism, and sexism. They can make up fake cases in the legal field and respond with hateful or abusive speech.
And it's not just workers and consumers who are at risk. Companies that license these tools may unknowingly expose themselves to biases and misinformation. Regulatory censure and fraud are also potential risks.
But there is some pushback happening. The Writers Guild of America is striking against the use of AI in Hollywood studios, knowing that they could be laid off and replaced by AI-generated material.
And artists and computer scientists have created tools to protect their work from being used to train AI models. They're also suing the owners of these AI tools to test the applicability of copyright law.
This resistance sets the stage for regulation. U.S. federal agencies have warned companies not to assume any AI loophole and have asserted their jurisdiction to regulate even automated actions.
We call on regulators across governments to follow their lead and address the identified harms of generative AI. It's important not to be fooled by the hype around artificial intelligence.
AI keeps using more and more energy. Where will it end? We look at the potential environmental impact of artificial intelligence, comparing it to the carbon footprint of Bitcoin mining, and discussing the energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions associated with AI systems.
So there's been a lot of talk about the incredible potential of artificial intelligence, especially with the recent development of ChatGPT. But what many people haven't been talking about is the impact that AI has on the environment.
That's right. Analysts are predicting that AI could have a carbon footprint as bad or even worse than Bitcoin mining. And if you didn't know, Bitcoin mining currently generates more greenhouse gases than entire countries.
Absolutely. And this is a big concern because our planet is already facing record-shattering heat and climate change. The last thing we need is for AI to exacerbate the problem.
Definitely. According to consulting firm Gartner, if the AI industry continues on its current trajectory, it could consume 3.5% of global electricity by 2030. That is a significant increase from the current 2% of global CO2 emissions produced by the entire IT industry.
Right. And it's important to consider the environmental footprint when we talk about using AI to solve environmental issues. As Sasha Lucioni, an ethics researcher, said, it doesn't make sense to burn a forest and then use AI to track deforestation.
Exactly. We also learned that companies like OpenAI are spending an estimated $700,000 per day on computing costs alone to deliver their chatbot service to millions of users worldwide.
And this popularity has led to an arms race among tech giants like Google and Amazon, all trying to develop their own AI systems.
But here's the thing, just like cryptocurrency mining, AI relies on high-powered graphics processing units that consume a lot of energy. ChatGPT, for example, uses tens of thousands of these energy-hungry computer chips in its data centers.
Right. The challenge here is that it's difficult to calculate the total environmental impact of AI systems like ChatGPT because companies don't disclose that information. And it's hard to predict how much AI will scale up in the future and how energy efficient it will become.
That's true. But we do have some estimates. For example, training GPT-3, the predecessor of ChatGPT, on a database of over 500 billion words, would have taken 1,287 megawatt-hours of electricity and 10,000 computer chips. That's equivalent to the energy used by 121 homes in the United States for a year.
And the carbon footprint of that training process alone would be around 550 tons of CO2, which is like flying from Australia to the UK 33 times.
Right. And with newer versions of AI models, like GPT-4, being trained on even more data, it is likely that they will consume even more energy.
Definitely. And if the growth of the AI sector follows a similar path to cryptocurrency, it is only going to become more energy intensive over time. Bitcoin mining, for instance, now consumes 66 times more energy than it did in 2015.
Yes, and the energy consumption is so high that China and New York have banned cryptocurrency mining altogether.
So, as we strive for innovation, it's crucial that we find a careful balance between advancing AI and protecting Earth's limited resources.
AI raises all sorts of questions for animals and the environment, says artist Alexandra Daisy Ginsberg. She suggests that AI poses a major concern for the environment and biodiversity loss, and raises ethical questions about AI's impact on other species.
Today we're talking about the challenges that AI poses for the natural world. According to artist Alexandra Daisy Ginsberg, the proliferation of AI is a major concern for the environment. In her latest artwork called Machine Auguries, Ginsberg uses AI to replicate birdsong. The installation features a mixture of real birds singing and AI-generated counterparts. The goal is to make audiences question what is real and what is fake.
Ginsberg believes that there is complacency around biodiversity loss and habitat destruction, and she thinks that the focus on AI is exacerbating these issues. She argues that if the massive amounts of money invested in AI were instead used to protect the environment, it could prevent a disaster that is already unfolding. She also raises the question of who benefits from AI technologies, pointing out that they are not necessarily technologies of peace.
In creating Machine Auguries, Ginsberg used a type of AI called a Generative Adversarial Network, GAN. This involves two different neural networks, a generator and a discriminator, which work together to mimic birdsong. The generator creates an output based on the training data it's been given, and the discriminator evaluates it against the same data, starting a feedback cycle that improves the quality of the imitation over time.
Ginsberg's artwork has sparked ethical questions about AI and its impact on other species. For example, there is a debate about whether animals should have a right to data privacy just like humans do. Ginsberg also raises concerns about who has access to and control over the data. Depending on who has this power, the data could be used for conservation or exploitation. Understanding animal languages through AI could potentially help protect them, but it can also make them vulnerable to exploitation.
Ginsberg supports calls for a moratorium on artificial intelligence development, similar to what happened in the field of biology in the 1970s with genetic engineering. She believes that we need policies in place to protect society from the risks of AI, which are not currently being addressed. She also voices the importance of using AI for the benefit of the environment and other species, rather than as a danger to them.
Asian American workers could be the most heavily affected by AI. We're looking at the impact artificial intelligence on Asian Americans and women in the workplace, highlighting their higher exposure to AI and the potential for job displacement.
Today is about the impact of artificial intelligence on different groups of people, specifically Asian Americans and women. According to a study by the Pew Research Center, these two groups are among the most exposed to AI in the workplace and could see parts of their jobs replaced by the new technology.
That's right. The study found that Asian Americans have the highest share of workers regularly exposed to artificial intelligence, with 24% of Asian American workers in fields categorized as most exposed. This means that their jobs' most important activities could be altered or taken over by artificial intelligence. In comparison, 20% of whites, 15% of black people, and 13% of Hispanic people are in the same category.
The study also highlighted the difference in AI exposure between women and men in the workforce. 21% of women are in jobs that are most exposed to AI, compared to 17% of men. This could be due to the fact that women tend to dominate jobs in health and education, while men are more represented in industries like construction and manufacturing.
Absolutely. It's interesting to note that despite the fear surrounding AI, most workers in highly exposed fields are actually more hopeful about its impact. For example, 32% of those in information technology jobs believe that AI will help more than hurt. However, there are concerns within the Asian American community that lower-income Asians might get left behind as AI continues to develop and automate certain physical labor jobs.
That's a valid concern. The CEO and executive director of the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers mentioned that while some Asians have benefited from the tech wave, others who came through war or with different immigration status are more blue-collar and may be highly impacted by AI. Overall, AI has the potential to magnify existing disparities in our society.
It's definitely a complex issue. As we're on the cusp of this AI revolution, it's hard to predict exactly what the future holds and how it will impact different groups. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this topic as it develops.
How does AI affect kids? Psychologists weigh in and discuss the impact of artificial intelligence on children's relationships, highlighting both the positive and negative effects and emphasizing the importance of using AI technology to enhance, rather than replace, human interaction.
Today, we're talking about the impact of artificial intelligence on children, specifically in terms of their relationships with AI chatbots and companions.
That's right. Children can form deep connections with inanimate objects, like teddy bears. And now, with AI chatbots becoming more lifelike and interactive, this phenomenon is taking on a whole new level.
Psychologist Banu Kellner, founder of the Superhuman Society, explains that AI chatbots can give children exactly what they want to hear, which may lead them to form stronger bonds with these AI companions than with real humans.
That's a significant problem because it could prevent children from learning how to navigate complex human relationships. Kellner emphasizes the importance of ensuring that AI products help children develop life skills, particularly social skills, rather than replacing human interactions altogether.
Yes, and there are several notable companies that are operating artificial intelligence into education and entertainment for children. For example, there's Pinwheel GPT, a kid-safe artificial intelligence chatbot designed for children aged 7 to 12, which generates age-appropriate responses.
And let's not forget about Chemigo, a chatbot that mimics historical figures to interact with students on the Khan Academy learning platform. These examples show how AI is being used to engage and educate children.
However, there are concerns about the long-term effects of relying solely on AI for companionship and therapy. Then there's the epidemic of loneliness in Western countries and how some people have turned to AI companions and chatbots to address their mental health concerns.
Psychotherapist Roby Ludwig emphasizes that while AI chatbots can offer instant support, they cannot replace the nuanced and empathetic care provided by human therapists. It's important not to neglect the depth of emotional support required for certain conditions.
Absolutely. And there are also ethical concerns surrounding AI's influence on children.
It raises questions about the responsibility of tech companies in building safe and secure AI technologies. As psychologist Banu Kellner points out, these companies often capitalize on our brain's wiring to keep us hooked on social media platforms, which can disproportionately impact children.
The bottom line is that AI has the potential to greatly impact children's lives, both positively and negatively. It's crucial that we guide parents in using AI technology to benefit and add value to their children's lives, rather than becoming a replacement for human interaction.
Hey, want our free AI dope top AI tools that we use? Chat below. It's our live Google Sheets packed with over 100 killer tools, video, music, photos, AI voices, productivity, script writing, YouTube hacks, captions, the works, always growing, live Google Sheet, always free, AI, dope top AI tools that we use. Download and chat below. Back to the show.
Kenyan moderators decry toll of training of AI models, the exploitative working conditions faced by content moderators in Kenya, who review graphic and harmful content for artificial intelligence programs, and calls for better support and regulation in the industry.
The article we're discussing today sheds light on the exploitative conditions faced by content moderators who review the content that powers artificial intelligence programs.
That's right. One of the former content moderators, Mofat Okenyi, shared his experience and how it has damaged his mental health. He mentioned that he would view up to 700 text passages a day, many of which depicted graphic sexual violence.
Okini's story is just one example. The petition filed by the Moderators highlights the psychological trauma, low pay, and abrupt dismissal they experienced while working for Sama, a data annotation services company that contracts with OpenAI.
And it's not just the graphic text they had to review. The Moderators also had to deal with images depicting scenes of violence, self-harm, murder, rape, and more. It's troubling that they weren't adequately warned about the brutality of the content they would be reviewing.
Absolutely. The Moderators also mentioned that they received little to no psychological support during their time working for Sama. This lack of support exacerbated their trauma. They were paid between $1.46 and $3.74 an hour, which is shockingly low.
When the contract with OpenAI was terminated early, the Moderators were left without income and dealing with serious trauma. The article mentions Richard Mathinge and Alex Carew, two petitioners who suffered greatly as a result.
It's disheartening to hear about the toll this work took on their lives. Mathinge's team would exchange stories of the disturbing content they had to review at the end of each day, trying to find some solace in sharing their experiences.
And Carew, who used to love DJing and interacting with people, became introverted and had his physical relationship with his wife suffer. This work completely destroyed him.
The responsibility for these exploitative conditions falls on companies like Sama and OpenAI. Sama claims to provide support to its Moderators, but the petitioners disagree, stating that the support they received was inadequate.
That's right. Corey Kreider, the director of Foxglove, a non-profit legal NGO supporting the case, pointed out that tech companies like OpenAI and Facebook often distance themselves from the working conditions of content moderators by outsourcing the work.
And it's not just about Sama and OpenAI. The article also mentions the need for legislation to regulate how harmful and dangerous technology work is outsourced in Kenya. The petitioners want existing laws to include exposure to harmful content as an occupational hazard.
It's an important call for change. We need to ensure that workers in these industries are protected and provided with adequate support. The formation of the first trade union for content moderators in Africa is a step in the right direction.
Definitely. And let's not forget that these content moderators play a crucial role in training AI algorithms. They are the ones feeding these algorithms with examples of hate speech, violence, and sexual abuse.
Right? And this work is often performed in countries like Kenya, where there's a large pool of multilingual workers willing to do the job for lower wages. It's essential to address the labor conditions in this industry.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue that requires attention from both companies and governments. We hope that through awareness and advocacy, we can bring about positive change for content moderators.
Criminals have created their own ChatGPT clones.
So today is about cybercriminals creating their own versions of AI chatbots, specifically large language models, to aid in their illegal activities.
That's right. These chatbots are similar to legitimate ones like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Bard, but they're being marketed for phishing and creating malware.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that these cybercriminals are claiming to have developed two chatbots called Worm GPT and Fraud GPT, which they're advertising on dark web forums.
Right. The legitimate language models developed by tech companies have safety measures in place to prevent misuse, but these shady chatbots claim to remove those protections.
One cybersecurity researcher tested the system and asked Worm GPT to generate an email for a business email compromise scam. The result was not only persuasive, but also strategically cunning.
It's quite unsettling. And what's even more concerning is that these cybercriminals are lowering the entry barriers for novice scammers by using AI chatbots like these.
Absolutely. The creator of Fraud GPT even claimed that their system could create undetectable malware and find leaks and vulnerabilities.
That's a dangerous claim. They were even attempting to sell access to the system for a monthly or yearly cost.
It's unclear how many people are actually purchasing or using these systems, but there are hints that some cybercriminals are using Worm GPT.
However, researchers believe that these malicious language models may not be as effective as genuine companies' models. They can create ransomware strains and info stealers, but not better than an average developer.
That's reassuring to some extent, but the fact that cybercriminals are actively trying to improve their use of AI chatbots is definitely a cause for concern.
Absolutely. Law enforcement agencies have already warned about the potential risks of using generative AI in cybercrime.
And it's not surprising that cybercriminals want to get in on the AI boom. It can help them with fraud, impersonation, and social engineering at a faster pace.
Definitely. So be careful what you click and stay vigilant against these evolving cyber threats.
This is already way beyond what humans can do. Will AI wipe out architects? We're looking at how artificial intelligence is already impacting the field of architecture.
Today, we're diving into the world of architecture and how artificial intelligence is already revolutionizing the industry. The promises and perils of AI have been making waves in recent months, but what many people don't realize is that the revolution is already underway.
That's right. AI is already being used to shape the real world of architecture, and it's having far-reaching consequences. Image-making tools like DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion have made it easy to create stunning visualizations of architectural designs. We can now envision skyscrapers in the style of Frank Lloyd Wright or fantasy mashups of sci-fi and Art Nouveau.
It's entertaining to think about architects from the past using AI to design, but the real impact of AI in architecture goes beyond just creating pretty images. The most significant change is in the automation of the entire design process, from initial options to construction. According to Neil Leach, author of Architecture in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, AI is already capable of strategic thinking and real-time analysis that surpasses human architects' capabilities.
Absolutely, and one company at the forefront of architectural AI is xCable. Founded by Wanyu He in 2016, xCable aims to revolutionize the industry by using AI to assist with everything from generating master plan layouts to designing interiors and construction details. They've even developed a tool that can transform a two-dimensional image of a building into a three-dimensional model.
That's impressive, but it's still early days for xCable and other AI-driven architectural tools. As technology continues to advance, we can expect more refined and sophisticated designs from AI.
While the potential for AI in architecture is exciting, there are also concerns. Martha Sikari, head of applied research and development at Foster Plus Partners in London, warns about the potential misuse of data. She emphasizes the importance of knowing what data was used to train AI models and ensuring data privacy and intellectual property protections.
Sikora and her team have been exploring machine learning for the past 5 years, using their own secure servers and data from Foster Plus Partners' extensive library of projects. They've been able to use AI to experiment with thermally responsive laminate materials and facades, allowing them to change shape based on temperature. Imagine a facade that could passively deform to create layovers or overhangs for shading different parts of a building.
It's amazing what AI is enabling us to do in terms of calculations and predictive modeling. Sikari's team has also developed a simulation engine that provides real-time analysis of floor plans, giving designers instant feedback on the implications of moving walls or furniture. This kind of efficiency is impressive, but it also raises questions about the potential loss of serendipity and unplanned elements in architecture.
That's a valid concern. While AI can streamline and optimize the design process, there's a risk of squeezing out the joy of dawdling and the charm of the unexpected. Architecture has always been an art form where human creativity shines through, and we have to be careful not to lose that essence in the pursuit of efficiency.
Absolutely. The possibilities with AI in architecture are immense, but we need to strike a balance between leveraging technology and preserving the human touch. It's important to remember that AI should enhance and complement human creativity rather than replace it entirely.
Well said. It's clear that AI is already making its mark on the architecture industry. We'll continue to keep an eye on this exciting development and see how it shapes the future of design and construction.
Definitely. One interesting way that architects are incorporating AI tools is by using chatbots like ChatGPT to summarize local planning policies and compare materials for insulation, for example. It's a task that would typically be given to a junior architect, but the chatbot makes fewer mistakes and helps streamline the process.
That's right. And another AI tool called Midjourney is being used by architects during the concept phase to brainstorm ideas. It allows architects to quickly generate a range of design options and present them to clients, almost like an instant mood board. This helps facilitate conversations and get the creative process flowing.
Absolutely.
The article raises the question of whether AI could potentially be used to generate cover versions of deceased architects' work. With generative tools becoming more sophisticated, there's a fear that counterfeited classics could flood the market, creating a feedback loop of imitation.
Right. And this leads us to the broader question of how long architects should fear for their livelihoods as AI becomes increasingly advanced. But some experts argue that AI is not meant to replace architects, but rather augment their work. For example, Carl Christensen, co-founder of AI Tools FaceMaker, believes that AI should be seen as AI on the shoulder, emphasizing that humans are still in control.
Christensen's perspective is interesting because he points out that AI tools like Forma can rapidly evaluate various factors like sun exposure, wind patterns, noise levels, and energy needs to create the perfect site layout. This kind of technology can be accessible to non-experts and foster an open and collaborative conversation among stakeholders, including municipalities and the public.
Yes, transparency is key. AI tools like Forma can provide multiple options, allowing all parties to see and understand the trade-offs involved. This kind of transparency builds trust and empowers stakeholders to participate in the design process.
Absolutely. And beyond transparency, AI could also help simplify the complex world of planning. Ewan Mills, co-founder of Blocktype, an AI-powered tool for developers and planners, believes that AI can reduce land speculation by providing developers with sketch layouts and viability appraisals. It helps them understand what is possible on a site and avoid uncertainties.
Mills envisions a future where developers don't just pay architects for their time, but for their knowledge as well. He suggests that developers could generate a rough layout and then pay to use a particular architect's algorithm. This kind of algorithms as a service approach could revolutionize the way architects monetize their expertise.
It is an interesting concept, but it also raises concerns about reducing architecture to a standardized code. The article mentions how some developments, like the 2012 Olympic Village, were conceived with a standardized chassis, to which architects were invited to add their own dressing. This approach can result in efficient but dreary housing by numbers.
That's true. There needs to be a balance between efficiency and creativity. AI tools should be used as aids, not replacements, to ensure that the unique vision and artistic expression of architects are preserved.
Absolutely. And as the article concludes, architects need to design not just another building, but the future of their profession. Embracing AI can help architects stay relevant and innovative in a rapidly changing world.
Regulating AI. 3 experts explain why it's difficult to do and important to get right. From countering misinformation to balancing innovation, we'll explore various approaches.
Today, we're talking about the challenges and importance of regulating artificial intelligence, or AI, how powerful new AI systems can amplify fraud and misinformation, leading to calls for government regulation. But it's not as simple as it sounds.
That's the new generation of generative AI systems that have the ability to create convincing but fictional text and images. For example, there have been fake photos of Donald Trump being arrested and even a chatbot describing a living computer scientist as having tragically died.
These technologies like image generators DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion, as well as text generators Bard, ChatGPT, Chinchilla, and LLM, are now available to millions of people without requiring technical knowledge to use them. This raises concerns about widespread harm caused by the misuse of these AI systems.
Absolutely. With technology companies rolling out these AI systems and testing them on the public, policymakers are faced with the challenge of determining whether and how to regulate this emerging technology.
One expert mentioned in the article is S. Shyam Sundar, who points out that the reason for regulating AI is not because the technology is out of control, but because human imagination is out of proportion. There's a tendency to let our guard down when machines are performing tasks, which is known as automation bias.
Sundar explains that when a machine is identified as the source of interaction instead of a human, it triggers a mental shortcut called machine heuristic. This belief that machines are accurate and infallible clouds our judgment and leads to an over-reliance on machines. So regulating AI is necessary to ensure that these products deserve our trust and don't exploit it.
Sundar also highlights that AI poses a unique challenge because designers cannot be sure how AI systems will behave. Unlike traditional engineering systems, where engineers know exactly how a product will function, self-driving cars and large generative AI models like GPT-4 and DALL-E 2 are unpredictable.
That's right. Thousands of people have been amazed by what these AI models produce in response to their prompts. But even the engineers who developed them can't guarantee what the models will generate. This unpredictability makes it crucial to have regulations in place to address potential misfires and ensure that human sensibilities and welfare are not harmed.
Sundar suggests that AI is more like an infrastructure, like a freeway that can shape human behaviors collectively. But just like a freeway needs mechanisms to tackle abuses like speeding and unpredictable occurrences like accidents, AI systems need regulatory or governance frameworks. These frameworks should include periodic audits and policing of AI outcomes and products.
Sundar does acknowledge that the designers of AI systems can't always be held accountable for mishaps. AI developers need to be creative in envisioning how their systems might behave and anticipate potential violations of social standards and responsibilities. It's a complex task that requires careful consideration.
Definitely. The article emphasizes the need for balance when it comes to regulating AI. While it's important to address the potential harms caused by these powerful technologies, we also need to recognize the limitations of holding designers fully accountable for every mishap.
That's a great point. It's a fine line between ensuring the responsible use of AI and stifling innovation. Striking the right balance will require collaboration between policymakers, industry experts, and AI developers.
Absolutely. And it's also crucial to keep in mind that public awareness and education play a significant role in regulating AI. By understanding the capabilities and limitations of these technologies, individuals can make informed decisions and not blindly trust everything generated by AI systems.
Well said. It's clear that regulating AI is a complex challenge, but an important one to get right. As AI continues to advance and become more integrated into our lives, finding the right balance between regulation and innovation will be crucial.
That's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned for the next episode where we'll dive deeper into this topic. Thanks for listening.
Take care, everyone.
Hello and welcome back to our podcast. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of AI regulation. It's a tricky subject, but an important one as AI continues to advance and impact various industries and sectors. Today we'll be discussing two different approaches to regulating AI and exploring some key questions that arise in this context.
That's right. Regulating AI is no easy feat. In order to do it effectively, you first need to have a clear definition of what AI is and understand the potential risks and benefits associated with it. However, this isn't as straightforward as it may seem. The field of AI is constantly evolving, making it difficult to pin down a stable legal definition.
And not only is defining AI a challenge, but so is understanding its risks and benefits. To create effective regulations, we need to maximize the public benefits of AI while minimizing the risks. However, with AI being such an emerging technology, it's hard to predict what those risks and benefits will be in the future.
That's a great point. It's often the case that lawmakers are too slow to adapt to the rapidly changing technological landscape. By the time new laws are enacted or even introduced, they can already be obsolete. This could create legal barriers for societal benefits or even loopholes that allow for harmful conduct.
And that's where the concept of soft laws comes in. Soft laws are an alternative to traditional hard law approaches of legislation that aim to prevent specific violations. In the soft law approach, a private organization sets rules or standards for industry members. These rules can change more rapidly than traditional laws, making them promising for emerging technologies like AI.
However, one downside of soft laws is that enforcement can be more lenient compared to traditional government regulation. That's where the concept of copyleft AI with trusted enforcement, CAITE, comes in, combines copyleft licensing and the concept of patent trolls.
Copyleft licensing allows for content to be used, reused, or modified easily under the terms of a license, like open source software. The CAITE model uses copyleft licenses to require AI users to follow specific ethical guidelines, such as transparent assessments of the impact of bias.
And here's where it gets interesting. In this model, the same licenses also transfer the legal right to enforce license violations to a trusted third party. This creates an enforcement entity that exists solely to enforce ethical AI standards and can be funded in part by fines from unethical conduct.
This model is flexible and adaptable, allowing it to meet the ever-changing needs of the AI environment. It also enables substantial enforcement options, similar to a traditional government regulator. So it combines the best elements of both hard and soft law approaches to tackle the unique challenges posed by AI.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and explore some key questions surrounding AI regulation. Professor John Vellisner raises some thought-provoking points in the article. The first question he poses is whether new AI-specific regulation is necessary at all. Many potential issues that arise from AI systems are already covered by existing frameworks.
The second question Professor Vellisner raises is about the risks of regulating a rapidly changing technology based on a snapshot of time. He uses the example of the Stored Communications Act, which was enacted in 1986 when digital communication technologies like email were still new. The law provided less privacy protection for emails older than 180 days, assuming they were less important. However, this logic may no longer hold true in today's context.
The third question raised by Professor Villasenor highlights the potential unintended consequences of regulation. He gives the example of the Allow States and Victims to Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act of 2017, which aimed to combat sex trafficking that had a negative impact on sex workers who relied on certain websites to exchange information about dangerous clients.
And finally, the fourth question posed by Professor Villasenor focuses on the economic and geopolitical implications of AI regulation. If regulators in one country intentionally slow down AI progress, it could lead to investment and innovation moving elsewhere. While there are concerns about AI, it also promises significant benefits in areas like education, medicine, manufacturing, and more.
These are all important questions that need to be considered when thinking about AI regulation. By addressing them, we can create regulations that effectively address the potential harms of AI while still ensuring access to its benefits.
3 ways to get ChatGPT to write like you.
Today is all about using AI to generate text in a specific voice. Jessa Gamble is a professional ghostwriter who specializes in making a unique voice come through in writing.
That's right. They tried 3 different methods to generate text in a specific voice and evaluated how well they worked.
The first approach they tried was feeding an AI tool called ChatGPT an excerpt of existing text and asking it to write about a topic in the same style as the example given. They used a book that Jessa had ghostwritten as an example.
And the results were impressive. ChatGPT was able to generate sentences that closely matched the style of the example text. It even came up with resonant phrases that weren't in the sample.
However, they found that the length of the writing sample was important. When they tried using a smaller single paragraph sample, the results fell short. Jessa explained that voice doesn't come across in just a single paragraph because you need more volume for pattern recognition.
That's true. And if you don't have any written content to use as an example, you can use transcripts of speeches or conversations instead. ChatGPT can help clean up those transcripts and generate text in a specific voice based on that.
Another approach they tried was providing some information about yourself, like an autobiography, to nudge ChatGPT towards your writing style. They shared the client's occupation, location, life experiences, and personality traits.
But they found that ChatGPT heavily relied on stereotypes when incorporating these details into the text. While there were some gems, it would still require quite a bit of editing.
The third method they explored was describing the voice they wanted ChatGPT to emulate. They incorporated 10 descriptive words that captured the unique characteristics of the voice.
And they found that specifically describing the voice gave the best results. However, it's important to note that human intervention is still required, and the process of working with AI tools like ChatGPT is something that writers will need to develop and refine.
Absolutely. It's all about finding the best approach that works for you and your writing style. And as you continue to collaborate with AI in your writing journey, you'll learn how to use the tools effectively for your specific use cases.
Disney has formed a task force to explore the applications of artificial intelligence, AI, across their entertainment conglomerate. We'll look at AI's impact on jobs in Hollywood and Disney's previous investments in technological innovation.
So, we're discussing today how Disney has created a task force to explore artificial intelligence, or AI, and how it can be applied across their entertainment conglomerate.
That's right. Disney is looking to develop AI applications in-house as well as form partnerships with startups. They even have several job openings seeking candidates with expertise in AI and machine learning.
Absolutely. And it seems like Disney is interested in applying AI in various areas of their company, from Walt Disney Studios to their theme parks and engineering group to Disney-branded television and advertising.
Right. One of the reasons for this interest is the potential cost savings that AI can provide. Movie and television production costs can be astronomical, reaching up to $300 million for major films. So, AI could help control these costs over time.
That's a great point. And AI can also enhance customer support and create novel interactions in their parks business. They mentioned a project called Project Kiwi, which used machine learning techniques to create a small robot that mimics the movements and personality of a character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's really fascinating how AI is being integrated into different aspects of Disney's operations. However, it's worth noting that AI has become a hot topic in Hollywood, with writers and actors concerned about its impact on jobs. It's even a central issue in contract negotiations with the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild of America.
Absolutely. And Disney has been careful about discussing AI in public. They've been investing in technological innovation for a long time and have even collaborated with top technology universities around the world.
That's true. They have developed mixed reality technology called Magic Bench, and they've been exploring AI, machine learning, and visual computing in Switzerland. They've also been using AI to create digital humans that enhance digital effects in films.
It's clear that Disney sees the potential of AI and is actively exploring its applications. This could have a significant impact on the entertainment industry as a whole.
Definitely. It will be interesting to see how AI continues to shape the future of Disney and the entertainment world.
This is a cautionary tale about the integration of AI in the workplace and the risks of relying solely on AI without understanding its limitations.
Today we're talking about the integration of artificial intelligence, AI, in the workplace and the potential risks that come with it. Have you ever seen the Disney movie Fantasia? Well, the article we're discussing starts off by referencing a scene from that movie, where Mickey Mouse serves as an apprentice to a powerful sorcerer.
That's right. Mickey is fascinated by the sorcerer's magical powers and wishes he could do magic too. So, when the sorcerer goes to bed, Mickey steals his magic hat and enchants a broom to do his work for him. But things quickly go wrong when Mickey realizes he doesn't know how to control the broom and it floods the workshop.
And this tale is compared to how generative AI has entered the modern workplace. Generative AI, like ChatGPT, can seem like magic. You ask a question and it gives you an instantaneous answer that seems almost too accurate. It can even summarize complex texts in seconds.
Absolutely. But it's important to remember that generative AI is just a tool, not magic. In the case of ChatGPT, it's a large language model machine learning chatbot. It uses statistical models to predict the next word based on the prompt it receives. However, it's not always accurate, and there's a term for when it gives false information: hallucinating.
Right? Hallucinations occur when the AI generates information that is not true or accurate. It can be difficult to distinguish what is true and what is false without expert knowledge in the subject.
And this is where the danger lies. Many people view AI as magic and rely on it without taking its limitations into account. The article mentions a lawyer who used ChatGPT to prepare a court filing and included incorrect information. He claimed he was unaware that the content generated by ChatGPT could be false.
It's a prime example of the consequences of unintended hallucinations. The lawyer may now face sanctions for including false information in the court filing. And it's not just about legal cases. The article also mentions an AI chatbot hosted on the National Eating Disorders Association, an EDA website. Initially designed to help people with eating disorders, it started giving out dieting advice, which can be harmful.
Yes, and what makes this situation even worse is that the NEDA had laid off staff and volunteers who used to run a hotline service for eating disorder support. So when the chatbot started giving out harmful advice, thousands of people were left without a vital resource for their health and well-being.
It goes to show that relying solely on AI without proper oversight and understanding of its limitations can have serious consequences. That's why it's important for organizations and individuals to approach AI integration with caution and best practices in mind.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the comparison made between generative AI and magic. It's easy to be astounded by advanced technology, but we need to remember that it's not magic. It's a tool that operates on probability, not certainty.
That's right. AI can be incredibly powerful and efficient, but it's not infallible. It's important to have expert knowledge and human oversight when utilizing AI tools in the workplace.
Well said. And with that, we'll be moving on to the next section of our discussion: best practices for managing the risks of integrating AI at work.
Organizational leaders are faced with the challenge of integrating AI into their daily workflows without being inundated with false information and bad decisions. So, how can they do this? Well, they need to act like the sorcerer and train their apprentices.
Just like Mickey wanted to have the same skills as the sorcerer, we need to observe and learn from experts as we integrate AI into our work. This way, we can gain experience in a supervised and safe environment. And there are 3 things organizations can do to encourage responsible AI usage.
The first is to build digital literacy. Paul Leonardi and Settle Mealy recommend the 30% rule, which states that you only need 30% fluency in a handful of technical topics to thrive in the digital work world. You don't need to know everything about AI, but you should have a basic understanding of how it works and its limitations.
That's right. Without this knowledge, you might end up like the lawyer who was unaware that AI content could be false. So, it's important to invest time in building your digital literacy.
The second best practice is to always have an expert in the loop. Just like the law firm Allen and Overy, who used generative AI for their lawyers, organizations should have someone who double-checks the work produced by the AI model for tasks that require a high level of accuracy.
Absolutely. Having an expert reviewing the work ensures that any potential errors or inaccuracies are caught before the final output is delivered. It's an important step in maintaining quality and reliability.
And lastly, organizations should embrace boring productivity gains. Instead of automating the entire process like Mickey envisioned, it's more realistic to use AI as a tool to create first drafts or save an hour or 2 of work per week.
That's a great point. By embracing these small productivity gains, organizations can make a big impact when multiplied across all employees. It's about finding practical and achievable goals rather than aiming for huge, unrealistic transformations.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to discussing Peter Drucker's sage advice on the importance of more accurate information.
In his book, Drucker predicted that the focus of the new information revolution would shift from technology itself to the meaning and purpose of information. It's not just about generating a lot of information quickly, but using technology to produce accurate information that is right for the specific problem at hand.
Exactly. AI tools can certainly help us perform tasks quickly, but we need to be cautious about the desire for speed and efficiency. We must approach generative AI as a tool and have a basic understanding of its capabilities and limits.
Otherwise, we risk being flooded with AI-induced hallucinations, inaccurate information, and unnecessary risk. It's important to be responsible and integrate AI into our workflows cautiously.
Absolutely. It's clear that organizations can't ignore AI, but they need to approach it responsibly and with a focus on building digital literacy, having experts in the loop, and embracing small productivity gains.
The impact of AI on organization design. We're looking at the impact of artificial intelligence, AI, on jobs and organization design, exploring both the optimistic and cautious perspectives on the topic.
So, throughout history, disruptive technologies have often been met with fears of mass unemployment, but these fears have usually been proven wrong. Remember the Luddite fallacy?
Yes, exactly. The Luddite fallacy refers to the mistaken belief that new technologies will lead to widespread job loss. However, history has shown that these technologies actually create more jobs than they eliminate.
That's right, and the optimists argue that AI will continue this trend. It will create more jobs, make jobs more skilled and interesting, enhance job security, and even have a positive impact on physical and mental well-being in the workplace.
Absolutely. AI is expected to lead to a 26% increase in global GDP by 2030. So there are definitely reasons to be cheerful about the impact of AI on jobs.
But there are also reasons to be cautious. The economist William Nordhaus believes that we are still a long way from an economic singularity, where superintelligent machines render humans economically superfluous.
That's true. And there are other concerns as well. For example, AI may displace low-skilled, repetitive work but expand high-skilled work. It may also create a false sense of security and could have a huge impact on trust, especially regarding privacy at work.
Right? And there's also the concern that tools designed to increase efficiency and reduce waste might do so at the expense of personal autonomy. And let's not forget the pressure to be always on because AI never sleeps.
Plus, if we become too dependent on a few tech giants, it could have negative consequences for humanity. So we need to be cautious and consider the implications of AI.
Absolutely. There is the very real need for organizations to adjust in the face of AI. As traditional roles are eliminated and new ones are created, organizations will need to adapt quickly, invest in upskilling and reskilling, and decentralize decision-making power.
And managers will need to demonstrate more judgment-related skills, such as creative thinking and data interpretation. Managerial spans may widen as AI reduces the need for direct supervision, and organizations may become flatter with quicker decision-making and greater innovation.
And finally, it cannot be stressed enough the importance of organizations working together with AI to gain a competitive advantage. It's not about AI coming for your job, but rather someone wielding AI.
That's a great point. So it's important for organizations to embrace AI and make the necessary adjustments to thrive in this new era.